السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أعزائي طلبة بريب 1 جريد 7. هنكمل مع بعض درس the repeated multiplication, but before we start explaining the lesson I have a warning of a trivial common mistake. Please attention with me. In the beginning I will ask you to read these terms. First term and the second term. After that, please read these two terms. If you read this term and this term in the same way, it's a big mistake. And also, if you read this term as this term, it's also a big mistake. The bracket has a very important meaning, which is, the first term is x, y, all to the power of n. All to the power of n. But x, y to the power of n. It means n is the power of x and y. N is the power of x and y. But in this term, x is the power of y only. And in the same way, x over y, all to the power of n. All to the power of n. It means n is the power of x and n is the power of y. But here, x over y to the power of n. There is no word all. Then n is the power of y only. Just like that. Then, while reading the term with a bracket, don't forget the word all to read it in a correct way. Now, let's remember how can we deal with the negative sign in the repeated multiplication. We knew how can deal with the negative sign in the bases in the repeated multiplication. If the base is negative, then the result sometimes it will be negative if the power is an odd number, and sometimes the result will be positive if the power is an even number. That is the rule. For example, negative 7 to the power of 3. The result will be negative because 3 is the power is an odd number. Then the result will be negative. 7 to the power of 3 is equal 343. And vice versa. Negative 7 all to the power of 2. Then the result will be positive because 2 is the power is an even number. Then the result will be just 49. That's what we have learned in the previous video. Now, what if? What if the power is the negative number? The power is the negative. How can we deal with it? I brought to you 4 forms. Let's see how can we deal with it. If the base is negative, then sometimes the result will be negative and sometimes the result will be positive. But if the power is negative, we have to get rid of the negative sign in the power. How can we do that? In a secret word. The secret word is the reciprocal. Reciprocal, which is the multiplicative inverse of the rational numbers. Let's begin with the first form. A to the power of negative n. The power is negative. A is a rational number, but it's an integer, but it's a rational number with a denominator 1. A over 1 is equal A. A to the power of negative n, then I can get rid of the negative sign in the power by put the reciprocal of the rational number. It will be 1 over a to the power of n. Then, to get rid the negative sign in the power, just put the reciprocal. That's all. The reciprocal is upside down the rational numbers. The numerator will be the denominator and the denominator will be the numerator, just like that. The second form. A over b all to the power of negative n. Then just get rid of the negative sign in the power by putting the reciprocal. A over b will be easily to b over a all to the power of n, because I got rid the negative sign in the power by putting the reciprocal, which is upside down the rational number. Now the third form. The third form, one of them just is the negative power, which is the denominator. A to the power of n over b to the power of negative m. A to the power of m, which is the numerator, has no problem because the power is positive. Then it won't be changed. The only change will be in the denominator, which is b to the power of negative m, will be a numerator. Then the numerator won't be changed, and the denominator will be a numerator with the numerator. The result will be a to the power of n multiply b to the power of m. And vice versa. What if the fourth form? The numerator is a negative power and the denominator has a positive power. Then the change will be in the numerator, will be with the denominator. Then what will be the numerator? It will be 1. Just like a to the power of negative n over b to the power of m. The negative power in the numerator will be in the denominator. There will be 1 over a to the power of n multiply b to the power of m. And that is the forms of the negative power. Let's take some examples. These examples is on the constants, which is the numbers. All of them are numbers. Let's begin. 4 to the power of negative 2, 2 over 3 all to the power of negative 3, 4 to the power of 2 over 5 to the power of negative 2, and finally 3 to the power of negative 3 over 4 to the power of 2. First, notice that in the all exercise, the bases are different. Now, 4 to the power of negative 2, the power is negative. Then I will put the reciprocal to get rid of the negative sign. Then it will be 1 over 4 is equal 4 over 1. Then it will be 1 over 4. 1 over 4 to the power of 2, which is 1 over 16. After that, 2 over 3 all to the power of negative 3. The power is negative. To get rid the negative power, the negative sign in the power, then put the reciprocal, just like 3 over 2 all to the power of 3. Then 3 belongs to 3 and 3 also belongs to 2. Then it will be 3 to the power of 3 over 2 to the power of 3, which is 27 over 8. The third example. 4 to the power of 2 over 5 to the power of negative 2. Then the numerator, its power is positive. Then it won't be changed. The only change will be in the denominator, which is 5 to the power of negative 2. It will be with the numerator. Then it will be 4 to the power of 2 multiply 5 to the power of 2, which is the denominator become a numerator. Then it will be 16 multiply 25, which is equal 400. Now 3 to the power of negative 3 over 4 to the power of 2. The numerator has a negative power. Then it will be changed to be a denominator. But the denominator, its power is positive. It won't be changed. Then the result will be 1 over 3 to the power of 3 multiply 4 to the power of 2, which it will be 1 over 27 multiply 16, which is 1 over 432. And that's it. Let's take another examples. More examples. Simplify. Simplify 4 to the power of 4 to the power of negative 2 multiply 4 to the power of 5. The base is 4. Then the result will be base of 4. 4 and find the sum of the two powers, which is negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5, which is equal 3. Then the result will be 4 to the power of 3. The second example. 3 to the power of negative 2 all to the power of negative 2. Power of the power. We said if there is a power over another power, the result will be the product of the two powers. Then we will multiply the two powers. Then it will be, the base will be 3 and negative 2 multiply negative 2, which is positive 4. Please concentrate. Negative 2 multiply negative 2 equal 4 positive 4. Now 3 over 3 to the power of negative 2. The bases are equal. which is 3. Now, it's divide. We will subtract the two powers. 3 is the power of 1. And over 3 is the power of negative 2. Then the result will be 3, 1 minus negative 2. Minus negative 2, which is positive. Minus negative, which is positive. Then the result will be 3 to the power of 3. Now, 7 multiply 7 to the power of negative 2 over 7 to the power of negative 2. Over 7 to the power of negative 3. The three bases are equal. It is 7. Then I will put the base, which is 7, and find the whole powers. Multiply, find the sum, and divide, find the difference. Just like 7 to the power of 1, which is not written in the first term, which is 7, and minus 2, which is negative 2, plus 3. Plus 3 because it's minus negative 3. Minus negative 3, which is plus 3, will be 7 to the power of 2. Now, the next example. 3 to the power of negative 1 over 3, all, don't forget all, to the power of 2. Now, the numerator, the base is 3, the denominator, the base is also 3, then we will find the difference between the two powers because it's a division. Then the result will be 3 to the power of 1, negative 1 minus 1, the denominator's power is 1 because it's not written. Then it's 1, negative 1 minus 1, which is equal negative 2. All to the power of negative 2. Then 3 to the power of negative 2, all to the power of negative 2, power of the power multiplies the two powers, then the result will be 3 to the power of 4. The last example, 9 to the power of 3. Multiply 9, which is the power 1, not written, over 9 to the power of 5. The three bases are equal, which is 9. Then the base will be 9. The base will be 9. 9, and find the sum of the two multiply powers and the difference with the divided power, which is 3 plus 1, 3 plus 1. The power is not written, then it's 1. 3 plus 1, which is equal 4, minus 5, which is equal negative 1. Then the result will be 9 to the power of negative 1, all to the power of negative 3. Find the power of the power of the power, which is 9 to the power negative 1 multiply negative 3, which is equal 3. Now, and that's it. We did this example on the constants, which is the numbers. What if there is a variables? Let's see how can we deal with it. More examples, but now on the variables. 7x to the power of negative 1. X is the power of negative 1, not 7, because there is no brackets. Then 7 to the power of 1, the power is positive. Then 7 won't be changed. It will be in the numerator, no change. And the denominator will be x to the power of negative 1 will be the denominator. Then the result will be 7 in the numerator and x to the power of 1 not written, in the denominator. Now, the second example. X to the power of negative 1, y to the power of 2. Please concentrate. The negative power is for the variable x. Then it will be in the denominator. To get rid, the negative will be in the denominator. But why? Its power is positive. Then it won't be changed. It will be in the numerator, no change. Then the result will be x power 2 in the numerator and x in the denominator because 1 is not written. The next example. A to the power of negative 2 all to the power of 3. Power of the power. Multiply the two powers. Then the result will be a to the power of negative 2 multiply 3, which is negative 6. A to the power of negative 6. I have to get rid of the negative sign in the power. Then I will make the reciprocal, which is 1 over a to the power of 6. The next example. B to the power of negative 1 all to the power of negative 3. Multiply the two powers. Then the result will be b and negative 1 multiply negative 3, which is just 3. Then it will be p to the power of 3. The next example. X to the power of 3 multiply x to the power of negative 5. The bases are equal, which is x. Then find the sum between them in the multiplication. X to the power of 3 plus negative 5, which is x to the power of negative 2. X to the power of negative 2, put the reciprocal to get rid of the negative sign in the power, then it will be 1 over x to the power of 2. The next example. A to the power of 2 multiply a to the power of negative 9 all to the power of 2. First, the two bases are equal, which is a. A to the power of 2 multiply a to the power of negative 9. We will find the sum between the two powers. Then it will be, that's right, a to the power of negative 7. 2 minus 9, which is negative 7. A to the power of negative 7 all to the power of 2. Power of the power multiplies the two powers, equal a to the power of negative 14. A to the power of negative 14. The power is negative. Then I have to get rid of the negative sign, put the reciprocal 1 over a to the power of 14. And that's it. The next example. X to the power of negative 2 over x to the power of negative 4 all to the power of 3. The two bases are equal, but here it's a division. Then the result will be x to the power of negative 2 minus negative 4. Minus negative 4, it means plus 4. Then it's negative 2 plus 4, which is equal to. Then it will be x to the power of 2 all to the power of 3. All to the power of 3, power of the power multiplies the two powers. It will be x to the power of 6, and that's it. The last example. Y to the power of 5 over y to the power of negative 2 all to the power of negative 3. Y and y, the two bases are equal. Then I will put the base, which is y, and it's a division. I will subtract the two powers. Then it will be 5 minus negative 2. 5 minus negative 2. It will be 5 plus 2, which is 7. Y to the power of 7 all to the power of negative 3. Power and power multiplies the two powers. The result will be y to the power of negative 21. Then the power is negative, then put the reciprocal, it will be 1 over y to the power of 21. وبكده نكون خلصنا ازاي نتعامل مع negative sign in the power and how can I get rid of it. أتمنى أكون أفدتكم في الفيديو ده، وإن شاء الله نكمل في فيديوهات تانية. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.